Jackson, hey, thanks for coming on, man. Honestly, I know it's the summertime and there's plenty of other things you could be doing right now, but taking the time to talk with us and just get your pick your brain, man. It's exciting. A lot of people just want to know a little bit more about you. Um, but yeah, man, just to kind of start off though, obviously we all know you as this elite runner, running for such a great prestige school. What are some hobbies that you typically enjoy, like outside of running?
I love Star Wars and I love Legos. I've been I've loved that pretty much all my life, and that's pretty much the only other thing I do aside from running is like I love watching TV and then building Legos.
Dude, that's awesome. That's the first time I've heard Legos and Star Wars. It's
Oh
the
yeah.
first time. Yeah. Do you have a favorite episode for Star
Um,
Wars? Like favorite movie?
I mean, Revenge of the Sith is definitely one of the best, one of the greatest like twists. I mean, even though you know it's happening, it's still one of the greatest twists. And then I love the original trilogy. That one's really good too. And then I love it's not really an episode, but the new season of Andor was really good.
Yeah, I haven't. Man, we could stop running. Let's talk about Star Wars for the next hour. We could easily do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't caught Andor. I saw the first season, but I just have not gotten around to the second one. But I've heard it tied really well with with Rogue One
Oh
and
yeah, it
whatnot.
did.
Yeah, and Rogue One was one of my favorites, at least coming out of uh, the original,
Yeah.
six, I guess you would even call them. Uh, I guess that was like kind of the best one. And I still, go figure go figure you mentioned Star Wars. I actually was just watching like clips of Rogue One the other night, literally last night of when they blow up the what's the planet? I can't remember, but no, I just love the scene where it's
Scarif?
like
Scarif or
yeah, Scarif, yeah, no, not I don't know if it's yeah, it was Scarif. And then the guy's like, I am one with the force is with me.
yes, yeah, that was
Yeah,
Scarif.
yeah, it's classic. But like I said, anyway, man, we could maybe we could talk about Star Wars all day, but we're talking about running right now. Um,
Yeah.
how'd you get started running?
Um, I started in, I think, fourth grade. The city of Greenville had like an after school program where you could go and run. It was a very diverse group of people. I've it was probably the most diverse group of people I've ever seen. It was a lot of after school kids, and it was a lot of fun. I remember looking up to some of these guys. I don't know what times they were, or I haven't seen them since then, but I just thought that these guys were so fast, and then now I'm here, and yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. No, I remember because I started running in seventh grade, and it's something similar. Just like you always kind of look up to those upperclassmen and those guys that are running, um, such fast times, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to be like that. I want to get to that level, and no, so I totally understand. Now, obviously, you go to really uh, a really academic heavy school, but athletics is just as high as academics. How do you balance it so well?
I think it really helps that throughout the day, like there's an open period in the middle of the, or that I have every other day. It's an AB schedule. It's called college sim. If you have college classes, you have to have this period. And I think it's really good that you like have to spend an hour and a half working on assignments and stuff like that. So that, I mean, at home, I'm not overwhelmed, and it really does give me a lot of time to work where I'm forced to work so I don't get behind. And I think that accountability, my Coach Dentler is the teacher for that class. She doesn't really do any teaching. She's just holding you accountable, making sure you're working. And I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, no, and that's something that I think, as like as an upperclassman really as yourself, really spreading that down to the freshmen and sophomores especially too, how important that is, and it's cool because I had your teammate on the other day, and we were talking kind of how it's just kind of built into the team to where everybody is doing, it's taking the athletic side, the importance of it. but as well as the academic side. So it's cool that it really it bleeds through and it kind of it does hold you accountable to keeping that standard. Um, so we talk about like cross country, right? Cross country 24. And I was looking back at some of your stats and how you were in 23, and you ran sub 16 twice in 2023. This season you went sub 16 5 times. In the summertime leading up to that, did you notice anything that was going on with you to where like you kind of unlocked that new level?
Um, Not really, just keeping putting in the work, doing the summer mileage. I think I did bump up my mileage. I think about maybe 10 miles more than the previous year. And I think I also was a lot more consistent with my mileage and held that throughout the whole season rather than just peaking early in August and then tapering real soon. I think we held the mileage for longer. So I think that really helped.
Yeah, and so you ran your PR 15:11. Now when you're running that race, um, does it dawn on you like, hey, this could be something special, or are you just like locked in the zone to where you don't really think about the time, you're just trying to race it?
I mean, at Virginia Showcase, I went 15:11 there and at County. In Virginia Showcase, I was just focused on the race. Like, I gotta compete. I gotta go this last mile. I think at the 2 mile mark, I was like, okay, I'm doing really well. I need to like keep this going. And then at County, I remember at the 2 mile going, oh my gosh, we are moving. Like, I could break my PR. I just gotta keep going. But I kind of died there. But I did good. I mean, I thought that was a
Yeah.
fun race. Definitely very competitive. And I like how I pushed the pace during that race. So that was good.
Do you have a favorite course in mind throughout the season, or
Wake Med is really fun. We didn't go there last year, but that's the um, course up in North Carolina, and that one's a lot of fun. I mean, there's two big hills, but I think that kind of plays into my strengths. I'm pretty good at hills, so that's pretty good.
yeah, Wakeman is a really interesting course. The obviously the start is completely downhill, um, and then but you have so much time before you kind of get to that bottleneck at the end of the hill. Um, but yeah, having to come up it twice and then finish on the hill, it's that's a good course. I actually really do enjoy Wakeman. Um, when it comes to workouts, do you have any favorite workouts that you actually enjoy doing? Most guys say like mile repeats or something, but is there anything like specific that you think makes you feel strong?
I love progression runs, like going to some trails or some place that's off not paved and doing a progression run there, like Tuxedo, or sometimes we go up to Tryon in North Carolina, and on these like gravel roads, we're just doing a progression run and we'll cut down to something fast and it just feels so good.
Yeah, no, I like how you mentioned just trails. Like honestly, I think anytime you can get off the concrete and the pavement and get away and go in some back roads or some trails, like that's like that. I mean, that's really what cross country running is all about too, but when you train for it as well. Uh, Second at states. Walk me through that. Walk me through that race. Obviously, it's honestly, and obviously we're gonna go into track season as well. Second place seems to be like,
Yeah.
ironically enough, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Um, but walk me through that. Like, did you have a game plan going into it? Did you talk to your teammates? Did you talk to your coach about like, hey, this is the plan, or like what kind of went through there?
Yeah, a couple days before state, we had discussed it was individually with our coach and then as a team with what our plan was. We knew that it wasn't gonna go out fast, so the plan was kind of sit the first 2 miles. I ended up taking the lead of the race, but we weren't going fast. I think we went like 5:10. It wasn't anything quick. And then I knew that I was gonna make a hard move on that hill. Uh, with like a mile to go. I remember the reason why I wanted to make a move there was because at Coach's Classic, Ty Jones made a strong move there, and he definitely separated himself from everyone else. there. So my thought was if I attack this uphill and then move hard on the downhill at Coach's Classic was where people started to split away. So I think just having that longer area that you're planning on surging in, where people may not be mentally prepared to surge that downhill as well, would have got me a little lead on Grayson. But Grayson ended up going right with me, and I was just trying to hold on, keep going, and then he just had a crazy kick, like 600 to go, and yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to get your perspective on it. Grayson, he'll be on, I think next week. He's coming on. But it's cool though. It's did for was there any time of that like when you made that move? Was there any time that you thought like I got this, like I'm gonna be able to run away with it, or and it just like came up on you, or like were you feeling it? Were you tired? Do you think that move was like the right move at the time? Like, would you change anything?
Um, I didn't I didn't really think that I had it. The plan was to like create some separation, but I knew that I wouldn't figure out if I had it until like right before the race was over. Grayson has a crazy strong kick, and even if I would have separated there, I wouldn't be surprised if he caught back up and made it close. Even if I would have separated, I think that was probably the best move. I think the only way I could have beat Grayson that day is maybe if we would have started off faster. But I don't know if that would have been a great strategy with the wind and the mud. You could have gone out too fast. I think I played that right.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting because you look at all the times from those day from that day, and even from both days, and they were relatively slow, but just all the different factors that come into play, like you mentioned, the mud and the wind. It's like it almost you have a game plan going in, and then you get to the course and you see what the conditions are in the morning of, and it's like, whoa, okay, maybe I have to pivot this a little bit. Um, was there any reason you didn't do any like postseason mates, like no Foot Locker or NXR? Just wanted to
Um,
cut the season off, or
Yeah, I was just done at that point. And XR was like a few days after state, and I wanted to be fresh if I was going to race in XR because that's a tough course. It's very physically demanding, and I didn't want to go there to do okay or bad. I would have wanted my postseason to be excellent. So, and I also had big dreams for indoor. I wanted to go to New Balance Nationals, so kind of taking a little break after state and then ramping up training then would have been better than pushing back the cross country season so I can do better over at indoor meets.
yeah, you mentioned that. Like, do you think? Because I saw that a lot. There's a couple girls and gals that went out and did, like Foot Locker or something. But a majority of the state didn't. Do you think? Do you think because track? Do you envision? I guess track is kind of just is more important. Like people care more about the New Balance outdoors and Nike outdoors, Adidas, all of those versus Foot Locker and Running Lane.
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is we can't go as teams because of the South Carolina High School League. You have to go as individuals or as a club team, which is just a lot more work than going with your actual high school. But I also think for track, I mean, track times are times where cross country is not necessarily specifically about times, it's more about placement.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. That makes really honestly a lot of sense. Um, it's just interesting. It's interesting because you do like Foot Locker is such a uh I don't want to say an old school thing, but and I think there still is like high regards for it. And same as NXR. I mean, if you have the team to go, I would honestly look at your team and say, definitely get the team to go and do it. Um, when you when you're running in cross, and do you talk to your brother at all? Like, do you guys strategize together, or do you like both have separate kind of game plans?
I think we have separate game plans, and I don't just strategize with him. I strategize mostly like it'd be us and Chapel talking about what our plan is. Most of the time, game plan is to kick the furthest out because he has the least amount of leg speed, and then Beeson has a little bit more leg speed, and then I have the most leg speed. So for me, it is best to kick later where they need to make their move earlier if they're gonna win.
Yeah, and so that kind of brings us to track season. Now that we're like kind of talking about speed, um, 4:09 in the mile, pretty dang fast. 9:05 in the 2 mile or the 32. Um, again, similar. Like, did you? Well, let's start with the 1 mile or the mile. Did you notice anything in that was different than races past that? Like, hey, we're moving, or I mean, obviously the Carolina Distance Carnival was kind of set up for those fast times. Um, but did you notice it? Did it feel any easier running with such an elite pack?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I remember in Carolina distance, I was feeling 500 to go. I didn't know what the time was. I was just like, it's time to go. I need to start taking off if I'm gonna run something fast. And I really did. I put in a hard surge, 500 to go, and really took off that last lap. Um, I, yeah.
And then you look at like the 9:05 at All American. Same as like that. Like when you're running those races, do you hear your parents or your coaches, or do you hear like what times or anything that they're saying? Or are you so like laser focused in on just staying and keeping the pace?
Some races I'm focused on the times. I remember All American, I was just trying to compete for that win. I did not expect to be able to close so fast. I think I closed sub 60 in that one. Um, I just was trying to stay in the race and like compete.
Yeah. And I know we mentioned the 16 and the 32 or the mile and 32, but you're an 800 guy too. Um, when picking an event, do you have a preference of I mean, really, you could honestly say like all of them are kind of middle distance, but obviously like the eight is, if we're going to talk about like high school distances, like eight is pretty lower as far as distance wise. Like, how does that go into play? You picking an event that you enjoy the most or think you have the best shot in?
I mean, at most races, I look at where the competition is, but I love the 16 mile. I think that's probably my favorite. And then I love the 32. I love how they're more longer and drawn out, where you have more time to make moves. Where the 800, you just got to stay on it the entire time. You can't really make any tactical mistakes, otherwise you're like 2 or 3 seconds behind, or in bad positioning. So you just got to stay focused in that. Where the mile and 2 mile, you can let that play out more over time.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I mean, the 800, unless you're a really good kicker at the end. I mean, if you if you get it too late, you're kind of done for. Um, let's talk about states. Um, I think you can always look back on any running performance or any race and pick something from it. And there's always something to learn, even if you win, even if you're state champion. I'm sure there's something you can always kind of look back on. Um, but starting off, I really want to talk about the eight. I think the eight is really curious because 201 for second place at states, and the eight is like obviously like a bit shocking. But the PR is 155. Was it all like did you want it to be tactical? Did you
No,
like
I
what was the
just
game
didn't.
plan in there? Like how did it get that to the be that way?
The plan was to go out 60 and close. I went out 60, didn't really close. I started kicking way too late. Um, I I don't know. It just didn't really go that well that day for me. I think I used a lot of energy in that 1600 at the last like 100 meters kicking against Grayson. Um, I just had nothing left in my legs after that 16, so I think that really hurt me for the 800. And then I also think I should have prepared better. I should have drank more water. And then I also just mentally, I should have been more prepared to kick earlier.
Yeah. So, we talk about I think your story is really interesting in the aspect of um just being so close, being so close to that, everlasting goal that everybody's seeking is that, that first place. So to be second in three different events with the 16, the 8, and then in cross, um, like what gives you that perseverance to like know, like, you know what? I got a second, but I'm almost right there. Like I know I can do it. Like what gives you that motivation to keep working hard to, hopefully achieve that big goal that you're looking for?
Um, I look back and I mean, I've improved so much this year. Like I've accomplished all of my goals this year. Like at the beginning of the season, I was thinking like, man, it'd be really good if I could run 4:12 in the mile and go like sub 9:05. That would be perfect. And then I went 9:04 indoor for the full 2 mile. And then I mean, I destroyed my goal of the in the mile. So I think that's just motivation. Like I've improved so much. I have a lot more to learn. Even if I didn't get a state championship, I've improved so much as a runner and a person over this past year.
Yeah. And so how much do you, I guess, reflect with your brother on and like I guess both of you like talking to each other and like the training plans, like how much kind of like advice do you give to him? Because you have obviously you are so close to the top. I mean, and honestly, he is too, respectively.
Um, I mean, I don't think I give too much advice to him. I think for training, I mean, our I just do whatever our coach tells us. I try to explain understand why we're doing it, but I don't really give him that much advice. That's more of like a talking with a coach. But I'll try to encourage him on races and like, hey, you did good. He's coming back from some injuries, like over cross country, he got injured, and then this past track season, his hip was bothering him at the start and then at the end. So I think just trying to encourage him is what I do.
Yeah. So we go into now cross 25. So this season coming up, you are the number three returner in all of South Carolina across all classifications, and your team is ranked number one across all classifications. Do you feel any pressure with that, or rankings are just rankings?
I mean, yeah, rankings are just rankings. I mean, uh, nothing against South Carolina, but like I've bigger goals than just being ranked high in South Carolina. Like I think South Carolina over the past few years, it's definitely developed a lot more talent. There's definitely a lot of competition here, but I'm aiming more regionally to compete rather than just in South Carolina. I do want to try to compete to be higher ranked in South Carolina. I think that's important, but I think just going and racing and competing all over is important.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I like how you mentioned that too, because like um, kind of lead into that as well is like the competition level in South Carolina, and in North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina is kind of has ups and down years too, but the progression of South Carolina running is when you look at this track season alone, I think is amazing. It's amazing. You look at what Caleb Burrows did in the eight and Ava Lindsay this year running 10:18 in the 2 mile for the girls side, like huge times coming out of South Carolina. Uh, now the expectations individually and as a team, I'm assuming sub 15 is one of the goals for this year, or what are some of those goals for cross?
Um, I mean, I think Chappell said this as well, but just trying to get in races and compete. Like I said earlier, times aren't necessarily specifically matter. I mean, I definitely want to run some fast cross country times, but I think it's more about competing in like big races. Like we're gonna have Adidas, we're gonna have go to Virginia Showcase, and I think just focusing on really competing in those races is important.
Yeah. And so I guess it kind of comes back because I know we mentioned like, NXR was a little out there and whatnot. Being that it's that you are obviously starting off at a really good spot with a PR and cross. Um, our postseason race is going to just kind of be a thing of when it gets to that time, we'll look at it, or is it already kind of on the calendar of something you want to do?
Yeah, I think the plan right now is to go for an XR. We got to see really how the team shakes out if we're going to really be able to do that. I think the big question is how who's going to be our number five and are they going to be able to do well? But I think just encouraging, and if we can build someone up over the summer who can be our solid five, and I think we can go and have fun.
Yeah, no, agreed. And kind of last to kind of capture everything, college. I think everybody kind of is always interested to see where you want to go or even just where you're interested in going. Has any colleges kind of piqued your interest, or do you have any idea of like possibly where you want to end up?
I do, but I'm in the early stages of like I've just been emailing coaches online. I think I have a lot of more plans over the summer of really reaching out and getting recruited, but nothing really solid now.
No, that's good, man. Obviously, keep your doors open, and um, I guess really one to kind of follow up on that. It is, are you trying to be in state or is like out of state something you're a little bit more interested in?
I'm definitely looking more out of state. Looking at a lot of North Carolina schools. I think that they have a lot of good academics as well as good athletics. So it's a good combination. And I also want to
Yeah,
go a little further away. I think like what between 2 and like 4 hours away would be ideal.
yeah, no, I agree, and especially the greatest part is when you look at North Carolina, um, obviously there's, when you look at UNC, Chapel Hill, everything that they've been doing recently on the track with distance and in cross, and then obviously Duke and uh, NC State on the girls' side of cross being national champions for 3 times in a row in previous years. Definitely, it's definitely North Carolina really has seemed to be coming on pretty strong when it comes to the distance running events. Other than that, man, hey, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna ask one more question, and that is, who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Oh, I don't know, probably Darth Vader. I know it's basic, but I think he's one of the like best portrayed villains. He in what A New Hope, only has like 10 minutes of screen time, but his presence is so like ominous and there. Like he's definitely a scary villain who like everyone recognizes.
Good answer, man. I agree. Darth Vader is such an iconic character. But Jackson, hey, thanks man for coming on. Seriously, I would definitely love to catch up as the summer progresses and see kind of how things play out. And as we gear for this cross country season, I just wish you the best of luck, man.
Okay, thank you.